Okay. Okay. So, hey everybody. Welcome to the first DMV League of Artists Art Talk Tuesdays. I'm so glad you guys could join us for our very first episode. Um, we are here to we wanted to start a platform where we could talk all things art. There's so many people that have so many questions on how to get started, what it all entails, from uh, equipment or doing murals or just selling your art. So we're going to have a different artist each week, and we'll again be discussing all things art. And we're just so excited to start this platform with you guys and just share with you all of our knowledge that we have with all of you. And any up and coming artists, you can always come to our page to get that information. So excuse me if I look down sometimes because, I gotta look at my notes that I took. So a little bit about the DMV League of Artists. We are a collective here in the DC, Maryland, Virginia area. And it's basically a bunch of us artists from different areas in the city have come together, and we support one another. Excuse me. We have art exhibits, and we do murals all around the city. So many things that we do together. We've also going on trips together. Most recently, last year's Art Basel. We'll talk a little bit more about that later. But yeah, pretty much we just support each other. We've grown together as a family and an art family, and we're just always pushing each other and encouraging each other. So yeah, that's a little bit about the DMV League of Artists. My name is T Coco Creo. Kimiko. If I didn't introduce myself before, I'm sorry. So yeah, and you can find me on social media as well as T Coco Creo. And I'm also an artist, a visual artist, actress, director, all things art as well. And so if you have any further questions for us later, just comment below, and our management team will, if I'm not able to answer the question for you, or my guest is not able to answer that question for you, then we'll definitely get back to you. So we are going to have our first guest. Is a dear friend and brother of mine. I am so appreciative of him because he's the one that got me in on the scene. And without him, I wouldn't be where I am because of him. He's very, very talented. I love his form of art. He's very encouraging. He's been doing this for a long time. I'll let him tell his story when he comes on. But he's just a great artist in this the DMV League of Artists, and has definitely been someone to look up to, I would say. So his name is Luther Wright, and we're gonna have him on in a second. Let me just figure this out. So let's see here. Let's see if I can. How can I? Okay. I'm going to call him up now. He comes in. Did that work? I don't know. Oh,
What's up?
hey.
What's up?
What's up, Luther? What's going
What's
on,
going
bro?
on? I know, right?
This is exciting.
How y'all doing?
Say hi to Luther, everyone.
What's up, everyone? Thanks for joining us. What's up, Hugh?
Yeah.
What's up, Nat?
Yeah. So we're so excited to have you as the first guest. And
Of course.
so we're like I mentioned before, we're all things art, as you already know, and just want to encourage people out there on how to get into the art game, and what it takes to be a successful artist in this industry, and just basically how I came about doing that. But first, I want to know a little bit about yourself, even though I know you already, but people don't. So, um, just want you to share with the audience, how you started and um, what what made you want to go into art, and how did you realize that this is definitely a passion of yours?
Okay. Well, I basically started when I was a little younger. I had a cousin by the name of Curtis that was like really into comic books, and he was in college doing a lot of fine arts. So I would watch him growing up, and was just very inspired by his talent and his skill level. So I just pursued it in that light. It was just a more of a passion. It wasn't really like I was pursuing it hardcore. But then when I went back to college to get my business degree, I took all art electives, and that propelled me into the art world, full time. We did a couple like student exhibits, and I won a lot of awards through that. So it kind of like gave me the confidence to like pursue an art career. So having a
Mhm.
background in business, that's what I guess led to me forming the company LW Arts and Design.
Yes, and I'm sorry for not mentioning it. That is your company that you started, which has done very successful, I might add. And what made you want to do, like, for example, you when you first started your business, what did you have in your mindset that, okay, I'm going to do this first, or I'm going to focus solely on just art shows, or I'm going to do just paint for commission? What what made you say, okay, I'm going to specifically focus on this?
Right.
And,
Well, when I first started, it was I was kind of in a place that like a lot of artists I normally are, like you don't really know what to do or where to go. So I was just looking for different lanes to gain exposure and just to gain, um, people seeing my work. So that kind of led to the whole painting live. My first couple years, we were just painting live at anything we could get our hands on, open mics, weddings, rap shows, and then our names start circulating. When I first started doing it, a lot of people would confuse me with Demont Pender, because at that time he was like the only other person like doing a lot of live painting.
mhm,
So and that's how I actually ended up meeting Demont early on, because I filled in for one of his shows, and then we kind of clicked from there, and then we've been kind of boys ever since. So, um,
right.
but it all started with just trying to gain some exposure for my work, and that basically is what led to me starting the company, because as a young artist, a young black artist coming into the art world, I had no idea where to go, where to start. And, I just wanted to help other young artists or new artists to the field to overcome some of those same challenges. So, with yourself and, a few other artists, we used the same platforms that we had created with Painting Live and all those connections and stuff like that to help build up other artists and give them artists exposure and
Right.
some time in the limelight to let their work shine as well. And by doing that, I feel like it's sprung other collectives like the DMV League of Artists, Art Bay. So it's other collectives now in the area. I feel like that kind of have sprung up over time, and it's a good
Mhm.
thing that we're starting to multiply and come
Yes.
together and starting to work as a bigger unit. And that was the whole goal, that we all could get to the greater goal together. So that was the whole point of really starting the collective, and to just have
Mhm.
each artist kind of shine on their own through the collective. We all help build each other up. So
Right. I totally agree with you. I think that um, just like myself, building confidence, I think is key too, because a lot of times you find that artists are, stuck in this little bubble, and they don't want to share what the talent that they have, or they don't know how to. And so, like yourself, um, just place that opportunity for artists. myself to just spread my wings or one's wings and just grow as a collective, like you said, and a family. So I think that's awesome. So, like I said, I have a little question here.
Of course.
Um, let's see. So it says, let's see. I already went through that. Do you think that art is a very important aspect in society, especially now with the whole I'm sorry, not the but the Black Lives Matter protest and all the things that's going on. Just having your image all throughout the DMV art um, murals. Do you think that plays a very important part in the community? How do you think you feel your art has it touched, or like has people come back to you and said, this, this really touched me because blah, blah, blah. So I just want to get your take on like, how do you think your art or all art and um, impact?
Um, no, I think it's very important. I mean, we could take it back to the beginning. I mean, some of the first signs of communication was writing on the walls by the Egyptians. People use art to communicate. So I feel like we're still using art to communicate, and we're still using art to set the mood and set the tone for how we move forward in the future.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's why the public art pieces that we have been putting in throughout the city, and that goes for all the artists working in every city, because there's a lot of artists that are putting up great work and positive messages throughout their cities. And it's just to keep hope and keep their city in a positive mind frame. And I think just to have those public reminders over and over again as you may drive by them or just walk down the street and see a positive message, and the feedback that I get from the community when they tag me on a piece, or they might DM me and just say, hey, I was having a bad day and I seen your piece, and it was just a simple message of cheer up, or
Mm-hmm.
something really simple, and it changes their whole mood for the day. And I think, to me, that's the most valuable part about art, how it can changes someone's whole mood and whole aura, and the light that it actually can bring to the community. There's certain art pieces that I've worked on through COVID that it became a monumental piece in those communities. For instance, the Breonna Taylor mural that I did
Right.
in Jaru and Annapolis, and you actually worked on that project with us. You
Yes.
see all the community that came together, all the different people who were coming from all over, and this is in the midst of a pandemic. So
Right.
it brought the community together, and this piece was like a monumental thing that spoke to the world, per se.
Right.
So because it was on the Times, it was on everything, CNN. So it just shows you how artists in the community can come together and make an impact through visual stimulation. So I think it's
Yeah.
very, very important that we continue with our mission and our message.
Right. Exactly. I agree. And that was a very awesome experience. To be able to be there and help out was phenomenal. Um, what do you think something like a mural or something like Breonna Taylor's mural on that basketball court? What does that take to prepare for that? What does a person do or have or set up before they go and say, "Oh, I'm going to do a mural"? Like, what is the things that
Well,
they?
when you're dealing with something on that scale, it takes a lot of preparation. It's not just, hey, I want to paint a mural. You kind of have to have like some background in doing that type of work, first of
Mhm.
all, and then um, you kind of have renderings of it, of course, what it's going to look like, and then being able to actually pull off the application is something totally different. When you're talking about putting a 7,000 square foot mural on a basketball court,
Mm.
kind of have to have a certain skill set, and you have to actually trust those skill sets through that process. so I would just say, you know, practice really, and being consistent.
Hmm.
Uh, in the mural game, I always tell people, start small. A lot of artists actually start on canvas, and then you just get bigger and gradually get bigger, and you just start
Right.
scaling your work, and then you just as you go, you meet people and you learn different techniques, and I think that's another reason why it's important to be a part of a collective or a community, because we learn
Hmm.
from each other all the time.
Right.
We help each other. So it's not really like a crab in a barrel type thing. I think we all feed off of each other's success, and we use it
Right.
to propel ourselves to go harder, or or go home, basically. So I think all of us see that we all have something different to bring to the table, but it all pushes the next person to go harder and bring something even better next time, to push the next person for the next thing. So I think it's a great thing. It's a great cycle.
I think so too. I definitely, just being your, you know, direction, a couple other people. I think I've grown a lot as an artist. So people like yourself, I must commend for taking that lead role in being the a great role model for other artists that are coming behind you, to just encourage them and enlighten them and just give them pointers and not be shady about it or it all to
Right.
yourself,
I mean, at the
because
end of the
so
day,
much.
people got to remember that, regardless of where you are in your career or where you are as a person, you can always learn from someone else as they learn from you.
Yeah.
And I guess I learned that note from Ja Rule. He's one of the cats that I really respect in the art game. I've been working with his foundation, Future History Now, on a lot of
Hmm.
mural projects. But in turn, he tells me he learns stuff from me on the digital side, on iPads and things like that. So we learn from each other. People that we
Right.
may admire may learn from you in turn. And
Right.
sometimes we learn from teaching each other. We pull different things from each other. So I think it's just important to stay humble, and
Hmm.
it's kind of like the music game. Like, if you always try to work with the new artists, because you never know when they might be hiding and you're not, and then so you got to stay relevant and consistent. And I think
Yeah.
that's when things start to fall in place for you.
Yeah, I agree. I think that, like you said, we can all learn from each other, and whether you're new or old in the game, um, somebody always has something to bring to the table, and you can grow from that. So I definitely agree with you on that. Uh, what is one of your favorite murals that you've done thus far through this whole pandemic? And a lot of us, we were so active in going out, doing things, doing live on stage at Busboys and Poets and stuff like that, and just getting out and selling our art. But then we got shut down, and it's like, oh my God, this was my life of getting out and doing things, and now I'm home. And then once we got out, and you start doing all of these different murals, the first question is like, which one out of those murals is your favorite? And what got you thinking like, okay, I can do this? We may be in a pandemic, but this is what I got I'm on a roll and doing these murals, and it's looking up, you know,
Right.
as an artist. So
Well, I
which
would
one is
say,
your favorite mural thus far during the pandemic?
if I would have to pick a favorite, it would probably actually be two. It's the one at Hyattsville, Busboys and Poets, on the glass with the jazz players. Because that was like the first big glass piece that I did, actually like a glass mural. And I believe that location is kind of what like set it off for us to do the other locations that we ended up getting through that paint the storefronts
Right.
initiative. And then the one that I did on 8th Street, AVAC Apartments. I think Nefertiti, Kiana came out there for a few days. Nefertiti and also Sonia assisted me on that one.
Hmm.
Um, and it's probably the biggest one out of all of them. So that one, it was like a week project. We worked on that, and we actually hand painted most of the mural. So it was an interesting process, and it was different people from the league came out and helped out through that process. We took some great photos. Actually going to be in a book coming up soon with the photographer Robin Fader. So those photos were pretty dope, and yeah, I mean, I guess, like I said, when it first started, we didn't know what we were going to do, and we got that first mural, and I guess I had heard this. It was like a radio. I don't know if it was on a radio or Instagram or something, but it was
Right.
a message from Steve Harvey, and he was basically like, I told a joke and they paid me $50. I told the same joke until they paid me $100. I told that same joke until they paid me 50,000. So I kind of looked at that at the moment, and in the situation we in with the pandemic. And I said, I'm not gonna like stress myself out about putting a lot of different stuff up. I just stuck to the colorful heart image,
Right.
and I just plastered that everywhere I could, and that's what kind of caught on first.
Yes, and it's everywhere. It's
Yeah, so that's
everywhere.
so I wanted to be consistent, and repetition was like the whole goal through that, and just to get that one image known, and then after that, I just started using that same pattern within that design, and once that, I guess, got caught on, people just recognized the pattern. They didn't even need to know. They knew the artist off the pattern alone, which was great, and it was something that was unexpected. It was a style that I created a few years back, and I never really released it, and then I bought it back because it was just something bright, bubbly, and colorful for the community. Sometimes it's about timing, I guess, with your art as well. So that's another important thing, that we need to think about.
Yeah. What did you think about the whole Black Lives Matter protest compared to the Donald Trump protest and doing art in between those times? And you think that when you did your art, because there was a lot of people's art that got messed up. Levi, I know, is one of them. Um, how did it make you feel? Did it make you feel like, okay, dang, I messed up my art, or I'm just gonna go back and fix it? And between the two different marches or protests, which do you think gravitated towards art more? Do you think?
Well, some of the images I feel like, when I put a fist up that says fight and it's colorful, that can, I feel like, translate to anybody. That can translate to our party. That can translate to Trump's party, per se, because they could feel the same way. And I think, like, sometimes we don't know how our art will translate to different people in the community. But I know when I put it up, I'm speaking for all the people that are being oppressed under a certain thing, So it's not really about black, white. It's about all of us trying to come together and form a better society to live in.
Right.
So I definitely do cater, a lot of the art that I did during that time was more catered towards the Black Lives Matter movement. And it was specifically created for that. Being a black artist in the nation's capital, I felt like it's important for us to get out there and stand up for what we believe in, because this is where it all starts. A lot of the policies and stuff start right here. Um, so, for the other side of it, if people destroy my art or in the process they, do things, I feel like then it hit home. Then it served its point. It got through to somebody. It evoked some type of emotion, whether it be
Wow.
good or bad. That destruction of my mural, it evoked an emotion. And at the end of the day, that's really what I want my work to do. Now, I can always come and paint it again.
Right.
And like Levi said, the next time I'll make it better.
Hmm. Yeah, I remember that they destroyed his art, but he was just like, I'm not gonna be defeated by this. Just
Yeah,
go back out and finish it, or make it better.
make
So
it better, paint it again. The first time was just the dry run, if that's the case, and I'll go back and, you know, um, and paint it again. I did have a piece that was actually recently just covered at Sabre Food Hall.
Uh-huh.
3 African American girls. Um, Took me about 2 months to paint that piece, and I was really disappointed that they covered it. But
Yeah.
the owner of the building actually just contacted me, so we have a meeting about that. And that's just another thing that a lot of artists need to know when they get into public art. You know, the certain rights that we have as artists. You know, we're protected by the Vera Act of 1990. So a lot of these places can't just paint over our work. They can't just destroy our work. Even if I sell you a painting, you don't technically own that rights to my painting. Like, you can't print my work and sell it again. So it's a lot of different rights that goes into when you do create public art on buildings for people.
Yeah.
It's rights that protect us, and it's also rights that protect the building owners. So it's in their light to make sure you sign the proper things,
Right.
and that they give you the proper things to sign, and then you have the proper people to look over those contracts. Because once you sign your rights away to your pieces, you can do anything. They can do anything with it. But a
Exactly.
lot of times we own the rights. I mean, even if we create a piece and someone takes it and does that, whatever they do with it, they may own the physical piece, but we own the image. We
Right.
still own the rights to our work and our image. So it's up to the artists to stand up for that, you know.
Drop
And
knowledge now.
it's a couple cases, like the case in
Yes.
New York where the artist, the graffiti artist, stood up and won, I think, 5 points, where they won like $8 million because
Okay.
the person painted over their work. And it's a current case right now, I believe, in San Francisco, where it's at a gay bar, where it was formerly a gay bar, and the new people bought it and they try to paint over. So the artists are suing
Oh,
them for
wow.
that as well. So it's just things that, you know, when you get into public art, you need to learn like the law. You need to learn like it's a lot of work, and it's more like construction too. You're almost like a
Right.
contractor at that point. So um, I just think people gotta, you know, you gotta take all that into when you want to put yourself out in the public. It's not the same as painting on the canvas, even though you still have those rights when you paint on the
Yeah.
canvas. Like, if I sell you a piece and you burn it, I can technically sue you for that. You can't destroy my work. You know, you don't have the right to destroy it. And see, if people don't know all their rights as artists, and I think,
Wow. That's
you
some
know,
good knowledge to
yeah,
just
for us to
drop
have
on.
platforms like this is great, so we can talk about that, and people can like look deeper into those things for their own personal art careers,
Right.
um, and just know what to look for when they fill out contracts. I
Mm-hmm.
know recently I was talking to Kiana about a big project she got, and I think Silver Spring, with the big banner with the girl with the balloons, and we were talking about
Right.
that. I think that's what
Yeah.
kind of made. She said, "Oh, that's they were speaking about that, you know." And I was like, "Yeah, you know." So some people, they were going to ask you to sign over your rights, and so you got to make sure you're getting compensated for that, you know, when they do that, you know. And
Yeah.
it's just important, and that we stay on top of everything. It's not just the the visual art side, business side of it too, that you have to learn if you want to learn to be successful, because it is a business,
Okay.
all the way
Actually,
around.
she chimed in. She said the Rights Act 1990. Vera.
Yep, Vera, Visual Arts Rights Act of 1990. It protects artists from things like that. So I think all artists
Mm-hmm.
should just look at
Yeah,
that,
that's
look in different.
right. I mean, that's some great knowledge that you just dropped in. I think that all artists do need to know rights and what they can do, or, you know, um, like just selling your art and making sure that they don't duplicate it and as their own, etc. So yeah, that's great information to give to our audience. So one of the other questions I have for you before we're gonna open it up for questions, if anybody has questions, please raise your hand. We'll probably do that in the next few minutes. But um, the other question that I had for you is, what has affected most artists um, in a positive way, and how has it been, you know, just sharing your gift with others?
Um, Well, surprisingly, like I said, or you kind of mentioned at the beginning that like when COVID first hit, it kind of like shut down everything for everyone. And as an artist, we didn't know what we were going to do, really. So um, it was just a blessing that this whole initiative, Paint the Storefronts, kind of took off. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not just me. I probably put up the most out of the Paint the Storefronts initiative, but there's several artists that have put up several murals all throughout the DMV. So this initiative has been great for just the whole arts community, I believe, in the DMV, including yourself. You've had murals that's been up throughout this initiative, and I think it's just been a blessing for us to be able to come out and share our gifts, and for the community to receive it the way they have. And I believe because everything slowed down a little bit now, it put a little bit more focus, and people have a little bit more time to actually appreciate and pay attention to the art in their community.
Yeah.
A lot of time we may just walk by it and don't even think of it because we're so busy, buzzy, trying to go this place and that. We have a moment to look, to listen. So I think now it's a little bit more focused on the arts, and have more appreciation for what it means and what it can do for a community.
Okay. I missed that part because you kind of like went out. Oh, you keep
I'm
going
breaking up.
out.
Okay.
Are you there?
Yeah, I'm there. I'm here. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Say that last bit again. I'm sorry.
What part?
The last part you were talking about. Oh gosh, I don't even know because you keep going out, bruh.
Saying it was a blessing that we were able to have the opportunities that we did have um, through COVID, and for a lot of the visual artists in our collective DMV League for LW Arts and Design, it's been actually a positive thing because we've been able to get out and share our gift with the community, and they've been receiving it in a positive way.
Hmm. Yeah, I agree. Um, and so
Great for the
that
community in a sense.
can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. For some reason, I keep getting it's like pausing on your end. Can you hear me?
Good now? You breaking up?
You hear? Yeah, I hear you. Let's see.
What's up, DC
How do I
Ardell?
put this down? Okay. Hey everybody.
What's up, Jessica?
If you're just joining, this is the DMV League of Artists paid Art Talk Tuesdays. And today we have Luther Wright, um, well-known artist, entrepreneur, and more here on our live. And I just wanted to open it up for anybody that had any questions for Luther or overall the DMV League of Artists. If you have any questions there, please put the comment in the comment box below. We'll try to answer that for you. Any other gems that you want to drop for the audience in regards to, uh, like I said, buying art supplies, to selling your art, multiplying the art, murals, all of those things. Anything that you have that
Um,
want to share.
if you're just starting, I guess I would say it's important to just start to look into merchandising your stuff. Don't just look at your work as work that could be on a canvas. Look into prints, look into stickers, look into all different. Um, I would say always definitely have social media, a website, a place that people can actually buy your work. Social media is, to me, works a little different than the website because people are always on social media. They actually have to visit your website. So, but it's important to have one, you know, because you want to look professional. You want to present yourself in a professional way, and you want to give people that notion that they're spending their money on a well-respected artist. So you want to present yourself professionally at all times. So even if you're new or just getting in the game, you know, or been in the game, you professionally and as best as you.
Yeah.
And the key thing, and always invest in yourself, whether you know your supplies, your time, your materials. You know, if you're starting off with level 1, 2 paint, you know, you've been doing that for 2 or 3 years, then it's time to move up to the next level paint. You know, and I know it may be a little bit more expensive, but you're going to get a better quality product out of your work. So it'll be worth it, you know, and they don't have those different levels of paint for show. It actually is a better pigment, better quality, and it'll give you better paintings. So, you know, sometimes you got to invest in better equipment, better brushes, things of that nature. When I was in school, my art teacher wouldn't even come help you if you had cheap brushes. She didn't even touch them. So,
Wow.
so it was just the culture that I kind of learned early to invest in the proper stuff to get quality work. And sometimes as an artist, you got to think, you know, do you want quality or quantity?
Mm.
Do you want to put out a lot of stuff,
Right.
just whatever, and it's just getting you out there because it's a lot, or do you want to put out not that much, but it's high quality work, you know,
Right.
and then it's finding the balance between the two. Um, what's actually popular for the market that you're selling to? You know, the market can change from different venue, from different place, from different city. Even in you're in DC, your market may change from southeast to northeast. You know,
Right.
so it's not, you know, you got to know what your market is sometimes when you're selling art. So when you go to these venues, piece to a place that no one's going to spend $5,000 for. You know, you got to know that, all right, if I'm going to this side of town, people over here, you know, they're just getting hip to the art scene, but they do buy art.
Mm-hmm.
People may spend $10,000 for a piece. They may spend $1,000, no question, because they're seasoned collectors. You know, they're more educated or knowledgeable about the art world or collecting. So as an artist, I think sometimes we get stuck in our heads about, you know, work and the value of it and who we sell it to and this and that. You know, but for me, I feel like I'm a creative, so I'm made to create. So I'm gonna continue to create every day. And if I just
Right.
stand around in my studio now, it's just nothing.
Oh, very nice.
Um, so you know, you got to kind of find that balance of like selling your work, and it's one of the most challenging things because you know people always want to, you know, get what their work is worth. You know, so
Right.
and like you said, that comes with I guess you know breaking down like the materials you use for that painting, the cost of the
Right.
materials, the time that you might put into it, things like that, and then you start to derive at a price from that.
Exactly. Awesome.
Slowly start to creep up until you get to a point where you're successfully, you know, you're financially stable doing
Mm-hmm.
your art. And for me, that's exactly the plan that I used. And I've been and because I just slowly build my brand, slowly build my the worth of my art since I started. But and for some people it happens faster than others, and for some people it's a slow process. But if you're consistent with it and you stay, you know, I believe that
Right.
it has no choice but to happen. You know, and that's
Right.
for most things that we do. You know, if you're consistent and you're and you consistently stay passionate and innovative in what you do, it'll happen.
Right. I agree.
That's what I,
I
I just
actually
told myself. And like
have
I
a
said, I've
couple
been a
questions
full-time
here.
artist. Yeah.
I have a couple questions here. The first
Okay.
one is from Nefertiti, and she says, "What's next on the agenda?"
Uh, right now, I'm in the works. I've had an idea of possibly opening up a artist clothing store. So a
Yeah, we
lot of
talked
artists that
about
I
that.
yeah, a lot of artists that I know have brands and have clothing and stuff like that. I just thought it would be cool to have a place that we have to just represent stuff like that, where you can come and buy maybe exclusive stuff that artists maybe have painted on shirts. See, look, we got you got brands on right there. See, we can have that
Yes,
on, art on clothes. So I think it's important that we start looking for shirts, merchandise, things like that, book around because that's what we'll really start to become financially stable as artists. I feel
mm,
like
yeah,
it's not going to be the one mural piece. It's going to be the consistent T-shirt sale that you get all the time. Or I can even say when I first came out with my T-shirts,
right,
I could be asleep and we're making sales. It's nothing better to make money while you're asleep. And as an artist, that's hard to do. Normally you got
right,
to or be doing something to make money. So if I can create one design and put it on a shirt, and while I'm asleep, it's generating me income. That's you know that's where it's at. So
exactly. I have another question here from Body Charles. Says, which mural do you think has impacted folks the most or got the most feedback? I think you talked about that earlier, but if you want to reiterate that to the audience, um,
with
what's your
yeah, it would probably be the
which
heart.
one impacted the
Yeah, I would say the heart with the spread love. I think just love is just kind of a universal language. So to have a heart and something just as simple as spread love or stay strong or keep fighting, I think those was the ones that resonated with people the most, and probably the fifth, of course, too, because that was kind of
Oh
the
yes,
trans the change,
yes, your
from what
famous
you said.
fist. Yes,
It went from COVID to Black Lives Matter, so that was kind of the transition from the heart to the fist. So the fist kind of became more of a Black Lives Matter uh, symbol, and the heart was more of the COVID
right.
symbol. So they both kind of play
Yeah,
a pivotal role in that. Yeah.
yes. Okay, I have one more question for you.
All right.
Um, says, what's your favorite brand of paint to use?
Favorite brand of paint?
Yes, what's your favorite brand of paint to use?
Um, of paint. Favorite brand of paint?
Yeah, that's what it says. What's your favorite brand of paint to use?
I would probably say
So, I mean, it could
Winston and
be
Newton or something like that. I believe that's what it's called. They have like a real high quality, high pigment paint.
okay.
It's like a level 3 paint. You can find it at like Michaels and stuff like that. Um, that's a lot of the stuff I paint on
Hmm.
when I paint oil paintings and stuff like that. It's a great, great, great medium. So,
Okay. And I'm gonna take one more question. Let's see. Okay, somebody asked, I think this is from Dim Gibson's asked, what's your favorite TV show?
say that again.
They asked, what's your favorite TV show?
My favorite TV show is Martin, of course.
Martin. Um, when you were a kid, this is something that I wanted to ask. When you were
You
a
know,
kid, what you said what?
and I said Martin's from here.
What did you say, Luther?
I'm so DC. Of course, Martin's my favorite DC.
Oh, okay. Goodness. I was gonna
That's
say,
right.
what cartoons did you like growing up?
The cartoons that I like. I was a big
Yeah.
Thundercats fan, and
Oh, okay.
Thundercats, Woody Woodpecker was some of my
Huh?
cartoons that I watched growing up. The Smurfs, Thundercats, Woody Woodpecker.
Those some good ones, indeed. But I don't know why.
Can
You're
you hear me?
moving too much, Luther, because I keep losing you.
Say that again.
I said you keep freezing on me. So I
Okay.
don't know if it's because you're moving around, but huh? It's poor connection. What are you saying? Because I don't hear.
Now I said I'm gonna stay right here. I'm not trying to move.
Okay, yeah, try not to move because we're almost done. We're about to wrap up. Um, yeah, the body said, please be still. Cause um, so anyway, we are so grateful. I'm gonna wrap it up because we're running out of time. And thank you so much for everybody's questions you asked here on the DMV Lives first Art Talk Live Tuesdays. Um, we'll be doing this every Tuesday, and we'll have a different artist every week. And look forward to seeing you guys come on, ask questions. And if you have any more additional questions that you want to ask Luther, you can go to his page. It's at LWART. Also, he has um, arts and look, I can't even talk. LW Arts and Design. And which is the other one, Luther? I know
Luther
you have,
Wright tattoos.
huh?
Luther Wright tattoos.
Oh, that's right. He does do tattoos. We didn't mention that. Oh my goodness. Yes, he does do tattoos. So if you ever want to tat, hit up Luther. And he'll provide you with an awesome tattoo. Oh, and if you could provide your website for everybody, because they're asking.
You can find my art at lutherwrightart.com. And the collective is lwartsanddesign.com. But it'll be changing to the collective artist soon. So look out for that brand change coming soon.
Okay, great. And any things that you want to mention?
No, I just shout out to the DMV League. That's my art family, of course. Thanks
Yeah.
for having me on. Great that you guys are starting this platform.
Oh no, you moved again. Hold up.
And be on the lookout for all the artists still putting up murals in the community.
Yes.
Other artists, please reach out to us. We're always looking for new creatives to come on the team and help spread your talent.
Absolutely. So, with that being said, I just want to thank everybody. Thank you, Luther, for joining, being the first guest of the DMV League Artists Art Talk Tuesdays. It is a success. This is episode 1. Catch us next week. We'll have Levi Robinson, the next artist, to be on our live. Thank you guys so much. Thank you, Luther. I'll see you later. And love and peace, everybody. Thank you so much for joining. Until next week. All right. I'm still live, you guys. I'm sorry. I'm trying to figure this out.